this is my last video. It might actually be my last post for a while I take my break and work on other projects that I have in the works that I want to put together so that I could show to you guys. So this might be the last time you get to see my face for a little bit. So, just enjoy it, You get angles? You're welcome.
A sip of E&J.
Hey guys, welcome back. We finally reached the end. Day 15, December 31st, the last day of this terrible, never-ending, but surprisingly really quick year. We made it. Unless at midnight, it just takes us back to January 1st, 2020. I'm laughing because that'd be funny, but I wouldn't put it past this year. What if we just have to repeat the year over? I don't know. But we made it to the end. So this is my last video. It might actually be my last post for a while I take my break and work on other projects that I have in the works that I want to put together so that I could show to you guys. So this might be the last time you get to see my face for a little bit. So, just enjoy it, You get angles? You're welcome. But anyways, for today's video, the category is most vulnerable. So I was just looking through my poems and raps and trying to figure out which one I was the most vulnerable in. And the poem that I chose is I Will Never Be Straight. This poem is also an older poem that I wrote. I wrote this one in college. Actually, yes, it was in college. I think it was actually my freshman year. I think I said some other poem was the first poem that I wrote or the oldest poem in this collection, but that was a lie. This one is. I took poetry classes in college. I think this was the first poetry class I took. Maybe it's the second, actually. I can't really remember, but this was definitely early on in college, and this poem was for our poetry class. And this poem was literally just talking about, it reads as a coming out poem, but it's about my hair and how basically my hair has been screaming for me to accept it. I remember when I was younger, and when it's about to be the first day of class, you're really nervous, you can't sleep. When you're in elementary school or middle school or whatever, you can't sleep. You picked out your outfit, you're about to be real cute for that first day. I would always do a little prayer as to things that I would want to happen. And I don't know why I would only do this the night before the first day, but I would always pray that my hair would be straight. I don't know why. That was part of my prayer, that my hair would be straight. For years, I would literally be and please God, make it so that my hair is straight when I wake up. Didn't make no kind of sense. And I also remember that one time we were in class, and I forgot what we were doing, but we had to figure out dominant and recessive traits. So whether or not your hair was curly or straight, you had to indicate that. And I somehow put that my hair was straight. I was confused. I was a lost child. I put my hair was straight because I was no, when I take it out of braids, it's straight. That was literally my thought process. I remember somebody was girl, your hair is curling, kind of pointing to the back of my head. And I'm no. When it comes out of braids, it's straight-ish. So my hair is straight. I'm pretty sure everybody else in that class was looking at me child, no. Especially because I was probably the only black person, or maybe there was a handful of us. Maybe not even a handful. So 1, 2 of us. So I'm pretty sure the rest of the class was looking at me ooh, this girl lost and confused. She don't even know she got curly hair. But yeah, for the longest time, I wanted my hair to be straight. That's all I wanted for so long. And I think this poem was just kind of my hair begging for me to accept it. And I think I wrote this poem at the time when I was finally accepting, or that I had finally accepted my hair and its curliness. And it's really funny because one time, because your hair pattern can change. I don't know what I did to my hair, but when I took it out, I think I took it out of braids, it was a loose curl. I was confused. I was oh my God, my hair is a loose curl. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what to, I got what I had hoped for with this looser curls, and I didn't know how to act. And I was please, Lord, make my hair go back to how it was. It's so funny because I wanted looser curls, and when I actually had a glimpse of that, I was oh no, I don't know what to do with this. Give me my super curly, kinky curls. That's what I'm used to. That's what I know. That's what I want. So it is actually funny. I did get a glimpse of that, and I was like, oh, I don't want this. But yeah, this poem was definitely me accepting my hair, which I think was probably the biggest insecurity I had as a child. I wanted straight hair. That's what I really wanted. I thought literally all of the world's problems could be solved with straight hair. Like, that's all I needed in life. And that's all I wanted. So it definitely was a journey to like love and accept my hair. And I think it's great now that like 4C hair is more prominent. You see people like wearing their 4C hair on like the biggest stages, like during pageants and just like in movies. Yeah, 4C hair is getting the praise that it deserves. So I'm definitely glad that I was able to love my hair and appreciate my hair. And yeah, it was a process. So this poem actually highlights that process of me not accepting my hair. And it basically was my hair begging for it to be accepted, or begging for me to accept it for the way it is, with all its kinks and curls and perceived roughness, but actual like gentleness, you know? It was my hair's way of saying like, love me for who I am, even if I'm not straight. Yeah, so the most vulnerable Sunday Sips video that I dropped this year is I Will Never Be Straight. And if you haven't seen it, you should check it out now.
I will never be straight. For 28 years, you bowed your head, clasped your hands, prayed that I transform into what you always wanted. Instead of loving me with my curves and turns, you pressed me down under the heat of disapproval. You somehow thought that the soft words gently gliding from your lips would enter the ears of God and she would change me into a better form of me, so that me, as you know me, would no longer be recognizable. I watched, wide-eyed, steaming, as you silently endured the pain you felt, as you watched as the pressure you applied to me slowly started to kill me. But when that wasn't enough, you pulled at my peculiarities, trying to straighten out the kinks and mold me into something more obedient, more submissive, something that would curve and bend to your force, into what you thought was more acceptable. In the bathroom, you closed the door and told me to relax. But my knots returned when you told me that you accept me, but the rest of the world will have trouble appreciating the beauty in me. So outside of the house, I'd have to suppress the real me. You lied. Your head, filled with media images of what I should be, washed away your sense of reason and had you forget the beauty in uniqueness. I watched your jealous glass gaze every time you saw what you wished I could be. And when you snapped out of your fantasy trance, I longed for you to rub me and hug me and tell me that even though I fall short of your expectations, you still love me. But you never did. Instead, you continued to hide me, cover me up, conform me to society's superficiality, apply so much pressure that sometimes I think I'm something else, to the point where my guise becomes an extension of me or a reflection of what I pray I could be. But I'm tired of pretending that I fit in. At night, on the floor, on your knees, legs crossed, leaning over the bed, when you thought no one was listening, I eavesdropped on your conversation with God. And your voice burned my ear when I heard you wish I'd disappeared. I thought you were just going through a phase, and with time you learned to love me and allow me to show the rest of the world how God made me. But you continued to hide me, and this 28-year wait for your approval slowly causes me to snap and break, because I can't take waiting any longer. You tried to change me, but you couldn't. I wouldn't. My roots rooted in Africa causes me to coil and curl, and I can't change that. My rough texture and tight curls define me, and regardless of what you want, you have me. I will not be straight hair.
A sip of E&J. end of the day. Warmed your body in every single way. A sip of E&J, there when you need it. Flows through you like your